Hi, my name is Taylor McCarrow, and this is my literacy inquiry for teaching reading and writing across grades. I'll start with my inquiry question for this literacy inquiry, and I had put together this question in the beginning of this class, and it's something I've always wondered about and wanted to do more research on. So my question was, can heterogeneous grouping of students help below grade level elementary students overcome reading and writing barriers? Now, this question came to mind because in the district I work in, there are many below grade level elementary students, especially as they come to me in third grade, um, more so because of the past 2 years with back and forth remote learning due to COVID. A lot of students just began falling behind. So this was a question that came to mind, and I wanted to learn more about so that I could better support my students based on how I group them in class. So the context of my inquiry and plan of instruction was there will be two teachers. I work in an inclusion room, so I myself is a special ed teacher in the room, and there is also a general education teacher in the room. We have about 23rd third grade students who will be participating in this instructional period and plan. Out of those 23rd grade students, 5 of them have IEPs. This is an inclusion classroom setting again, and like I said, 5 of them have those IEPs. Students will be heterogeneously grouped into groups of 4, and this lesson will take place in a Title I school district located in southern New Jersey. So like I had said, in our classroom, we have quite a few students who are considered to be below grade level. At this point in the year, they are supposed to be reading on a mid-third grade level, and for the most part, we only have about 8 of those students who are currently on grade level or exceeding grade level. So the purpose, goals, and objectives of this literacy inquiry. The purpose of this intervention is to allow myself and other teachers to have the information necessary to better support their students when they are grouped. The goal is to create a more engaging learning environment for the below grade level students by grouping them heterogeneously. It is also a goal for below grade level students to stay on task while collaborating in discussion during their small group time. The students will participate in heterogeneously grouped quick talk sessions where they will share their ideas and responses to questions about a text we have read as a whole group first, independently, and in small groups. So I had noticed, I've only been teaching, this is only my second year now, and I had gotten the job at this school district straight out of college. During the mix of all of the COVID, you know, stuff that was going on. So my first school year, I started remote. I started remotely. And now we're finally back in school this school year, and it is amazing to see all of these children finally able to be social and work together collaboratively again. It's truly it's truly a pleasure to watch this all happen and unfold, and how excited that they get to work with one another. So another reason why this question came to mind was because I didn't want to just have my students grouped homogeneously throughout the whole year. I wanted that, and working with the same group. I wanted them to be able to mix it up, work with different people. And I personally have always believed in, peer tutoring and having my higher student level students work with my below grade level students, because sometimes students they get a little tired of hearing what we teachers have to say, and they like working with their peers and collaborating with their friends. Sometimes they hear their peers better than they hear their teachers. So this was another purpose of my literacy inquiry. Here's a narrative description of the instruction that will take place. So students will participate in a whole group read aloud. I have selected The Paper Bag Princess as our read aloud story. During the read aloud, there will be intermittent discussion, which will be guided by the teacher. Following this read aloud, students will participate in a whole group activity, which will focus on identifying story elements. So characters, setting, plot, conflict resolution, and theme, which is the lesson or moral of the story. Once we have concluded the teacher-guided whole group discussion, students will be grouped heterogeneously. Each group will consist of 4 third grade students. During these groups, students will each have a graphic organizer that will consist of having to describe and write down each story element. They will be asked to discuss how to properly fill the graphic organizer out with their peers that they are grouped with. Example is, who were the characters, what was the setting, what was the lesson or theme of this text. They will then have the opportunity to work collaboratively and have discussions on this assignment. These groups will be student-led. However, the teachers will roam around and push in as needed. They will have a copy of the book available for them to use if needed. Once they have completed the assignment, they will present their ideas to the rest of the class as a group. Their work will be collected by the teacher. Below is a timeline of the instructional period for reference. So here I have timed out everything that takes place, and as teachers, we all know that our, planned timelines do not always work exactly how we want them to work. So this is just an estimate of how this will go down. So from 10 to 10:20 will be the teacher-guided read aloud and guided discussion as a whole group, just to ensure that the students are understanding the text or story. 10:20 to 10:25, I gave us a 5-minute period for students to break off into their assigned groups, which is they will be grouped heterogeneously. These groups will be assigned by myself and my co-teacher, and I just gave these 5 minutes for students to settle in and get where they need to be. 10:25 to 10:55, students will participate in their small group discussions and collaborative work, and 10:55 to 11:10, students will have the opportunity to share out their work as a group to the rest of their classmates and wrap up instruction. Down here is a reflection. As a result of creating this instructional plan and implementing it within my 3rd grade classroom, I realized that this would have to be a year-long study in order to really achieve maximum results of my students' progress. Just like my research article had showed, there needs to be prior testing and benchmarks throughout the study. This is not just a one-time thing, to come to my conclusion. Researchers who have conducted this as a year-long study collected data throughout the school year and were constantly prepping the teachers through professional development on quick talks and constant and heterogeneous grouping methods. I did notice that when I have grouped my students heterogeneously in the class, they were excited to work with new classmates rather than their normal guided reading or writing group. My below grade level students were much more engaged and are usually much more engaged when I group them heterogeneously, and really wanted to be able to contribute and, just raise the bar for themselves when they were paired with different classmates. It was nice to see how excited my students were to work collaboratively with their classmates. And as a result of this inquiry, I still question whether or not heterogeneous grouping would help below grade level students overcome reading barriers if it were a regular routine. Will allowing my below grade level students benefit from being exposed to higher level comprehension that they may not quite understand at first? So here's my literacy inquiry. Again, my name is Taylor McCarroll, and I am looking forward to continuing to answer my own questions throughout my teaching career. Thank you.